or reinforces a lesson. And the title of this speech is What Goes Round. Please welcome Will Stevens for his speech, What Goes Round.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. This story takes place on a deserted section of highway just outside of town. There's an elderly woman sitting beside her vehicle in a little bit of distress, and she's been there for a few hours, wondering if anybody's going to come by. After a couple more hours sitting there, waiting around, wondering what's going to happen, she notices this gentleman coming by, slowing down, beat up old car, pretty rusted looking thing. And she's thinking, oh no, what's going to happen? What's this guy stopping? He pulls over a few lengths in front of her nice new Mercedes, and gets out and he starts walking towards her. And she sees this very scruffy looking guy coming up to her. And he's observant enough. He notices she's a little, not easy, but a little concerned. He mentions out to her. He's like, don't worry, I'm here to see if I can help you. What seems to be the problem? And she says, I think I have a flat. And our gentleman, Mr. John Smith, says, don't worry about it. My name's John. I'll see if I can give you a hand here. Why don't you sit in my car where it's warmer than standing out here? Let me look at your car and I'll see about getting you up and running. With trepidation, she goes and sits down in his car, and she's watching him as he's getting down on the ground, looking underneath for a place to jack up the car. He goes about doing what he has to, and gets the car up, skins his knuckles a few times, gets that tire changed, getting muddy in the process, even he's gruffier looking than he can be. Gets it down. As he heads over to the car, she comes out and asks, what do I owe you? And she's quite happy that somebody actually stopped and helped her. Anything would have been fine with her. But Mr. John Smith says, no, you don't owe me anything. I've been there before where I've been down my luck and somebody else has offered me a hand. So I'm asking you, instead of paying me anything, next time you see somebody that's down on their luck, offer them a little assistance. Let's keep this chain of helping each other going. The lady considers, okay, I promise I will. So John heads back to his car and sits down and waits, and the lady heads back to her car and takes off, and he's just making sure she gets along fine. Well, he goes his way, she's going her way. She decides there's a roadside cafe just up the road. She wants to stop and have a coffee. She's sitting there having a coffee. It's a pretty dingy looking diner, a couple of rusted gas pumps out front. One of those places you really don't want to go into, but she does anyways. She notices her young waitress, probably about 28, 30 in there, 8 months pregnant, still working as hard as she can in these not exactly nice conditions. Well, our lady enjoys her coffee and a couple snacks and that. And as the waitress brings her bill, the elderly lady pays with $100. So the waitress takes and heads to the till. When she returns to the table, the elderly lady is gone. The waitress looks and wonders, and notices a note scrawled on the napkin. I've been there myself. I know times can be hard. I don't expect any change. Please, consider this. Next time you see someone down on their luck, try to give them a hand too. The waitress is like, okay. She starts cleaning up the table and notices underneath the napkin another 4 $100 bills. Our waitress finishes her job, gets everything cleaned up at the end of her shift, and heads home. She notices her husband lying in bed, and she knows he's kind of worried. Like, they've been down on their luck. Things haven't been easy. They're not sure how they're going to manage with the newborn coming along. She crawls in beside him, and she whispers gently in his ear, I know things have been rough, but they're going to get a whole lot better. I love you, John Smith. This reminds us once again, in all honesty, what goes around will come around. I think I might have been a bit short.
Thank you so much for that story. Very heartwarming.